my beautiful souls. Welcome to the intuitive card reading for the month of June. You guys know what to do. Please like this video. Please share this video with anybody that needs to hear the energies and the influences of the month. I can't believe we're at June already. That's crazy. Almost halfway through. At the end of this month, we'll be halfway through the year. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Using 3 decks you guys are familiar with, all shuffled in the order that feels most in alignment to me. Questions, comments down below. I always like seeing even your feedback, how these readings resonate with you. Love that stuff. So what else? I think that's it. All right, guys, let's see what June has in store for us. Fingers crossed that it's some really, really positive stuff. All right, what do we need? We need the stars. We need navigation. Okay, so it's saying that we need to navigate. We need to move. We need to pick a direction. We need to start going in that direction. So it's under need. So whether we, the rest of the reading will kind of tell us if we kind of take more action, but this is basically our needs, and it's our soul is asking for us to pick a lane. And that we need to kind of, again, take action on a path, a direction, something like that. But again, we'll see in the rest of the reading if we actually do that. But yeah, our soul is calling for it, that's for sure. All right, action needed. We have new life. Wow, 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 wow. All right. So under the action needed from the navigation, we are taking action on our new life. So you're either feeling like you are now stepping into the new version of yourself, or you're stepping into the new environment that you're in. Maybe you moved and it was like a long process to get there. But you are taking action on your new life. So yeah, it could definitely be attached to that navigation. You need to be doing these things. You need to be moving towards your new life. So I love that. So maybe you moved across country to go to school. So, maybe you need, and now you need to acclimate to the community. So maybe you need to, maybe you're settled in with the house, you got all the furniture in or whatever, and you need to now integrate into the community. You need to sign up for things for this summer that you can meet people, sign up for your classes in September, like things like that. So it's asking you to start moving like your new self in your new environment and your new whatever's going on. I love that. I was hoping for that. I love that it's here. I believe new life was also in our last reading as well. So I love that it's under action needed, because that means things are starting to materialize. Things are starting to materialize. We are actually seeing them. They're tangible. We can touch them. We can feel them. We can touch our new friends. Maybe don't touch the new friends, but we can see them. They're, maybe we've been thinking about we need new friends, or how I'm going to make friends when I move, or, what classes I think I want to take. Now you're actually registering for your classes. You're actually going out and meeting new people. You picked all of your new furniture, like these are the things that that are tangible. You can like hold in your hand, see in your environment, and things are starting to materialize this month, and I love that so much. Hallelujah is all I have to say, and I'm not even religious. Let's keep going. I love this so far. All right, this is the bumpy part of the reading, right? Issue poet expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Okay, so being a poet, speaking eloquently, expressing your soul. So we're having issues with that. Okay, we're having issues speaking in a way that is articulate, or that that you feel is clear communication. So what does this mean? Maybe you're fumbling your words. Maybe you can't get the right stuff out, and that's still an issue for you. God, do I know this so much with the brain injury. It's like I cannot say the right things for the life of me. Guys, that's why I stopped doing like one-on-one readings, because I can't speak correctly. I can still read, but I can't speak correctly. Maybe you've noticed, in my readings that I'm not articulating myself well enough, but it's hard doing energy readings, but when your brain is like this, it's extra hard. So hopefully I've been decently clear, and you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. But yeah, this resonates a lot with me because it's been my issue for years at this point. So yeah, it looks like this month we're still having issues with that. I don't love that, but it is, it's here. But we're not able to, and it also goes for, mine is like everyday language, but also like, this is saying like poet. It's saying like, you can't, like, it's hard for you to express what's going on deep inside of you. So it could be like, you might be having like a hard time expressing how you feel about somebody, you can't put it into words, or how something that somebody did made you feel, or something like that. So, it could be like very much deeper than just having my words scrambled, you know what I mean? In my case, but yeah, it definitely could be deeper for sure, but you have issues in that way, speaking clearly, articulately, expressing exactly what you need to express, that kind of thing. So I would say minor, not huge, but I will also say, if you are having a hard time, maybe it's not a bad idea to wait till next month, use your intuition and discernment, but you might just have like some issues saying something, don't be surprised if you say something stupid this month, or it comes out wrong, or, just take accountability when that happens, or, try to explain that you have a hard time explaining, or something like that. Challenge. We have breakthrough. Okay, so you're having a challenge with a breakthrough. I like that breakthrough is here at all, but you're having a challenge with that, so it can be challenging. So what's a good example here? Maybe you're like in couples counseling with your significant other, and you guys have like a breakthrough, or maybe, individual therapy, and it's amazing, the breakthrough, but it brings challenges. Maybe you finally realize like your relationship is not going to work, when you're in couples counseling, and that is challenging, right? So there's some kind of, yes, the relief of the breakthrough and the aha moment, or whatever you want to call it, but it brings some kind of challenge to your life. So almost like, I know the card's not here, I wonder if it'll come up with the bittersweet energy. It's kind of saying like, when one door closes, the other one opens. So it's like bittersweet, like something ends, something begins. This is saying like you have a breakthrough, but it also brings, an epiphany to you, an aha moment, like I mentioned, that isn't so great. The breakthrough is great, but the information that kind of comes along with that gets revealed with that, isn't so great. So that's what it's kind of saying there. Change. What's changing? The fates. Your fate is changing. I love having this card here. This is a good place for that. Okay, so fates is like, if it's meant to be, it will be. So you're either changing your attitude about that, or you're changing the trajectory of your life in some way. You're taking maybe more ownership, or ownership of the direction of where your life is headed. That's what that could be. You could be making a decision that if it's meant to be, it'll be. So maybe you do have to make a big decision this month about something that, like maybe you have to let something go, and if it's meant to be, it'll be. And that's part of the fate. So that could be it as well. Like where it's like, if it's meant to be, it will be. This could also be like you are having a massive, I'm not gonna lie guys, this feels massive. It feels like on a major scale. Okay, so it could be major stuff that are happening with your fate. Like maybe you change directions in career, or you change your mind about what you thought your fate was, and what direction you wanted to go. And we started with the navigation. Okay, our soul is asking us to choose a different path, or commit to a different path, navigate differently. Okay, so it's asking us to pick a direction. So that direction could be changing in a positive way to something that, whoo, guys, I'm getting chills. Oh my gosh. I'm getting so many chills. So that means I'm on the right track here. That you're changing directions into something that maybe you didn't think you were going to be doing, but it's almost like it was fated that you're supposed to be doing this. So there definitely is a connect the dots moments that you'll be feeling this month for sure, where it's kind of like, wow, I didn't really see myself doing this particular thing or going down this particular path, but it makes a lot of sense of why I am, or why it's happening, or why it's happened this way, or something like that. So I love that. So something big is coming there. Whew, just got chills again. So yeah, if your fate has changed, so if your goals have changed, it's going to be obvious this month. You're going to pivot, and yeah, I love it for us, because although maybe we want something as like ourselves, as our autonomous, selves or higher selves, the universe may want something different for us. And so it becomes very, very clear this month. So I love that for us. Okay. And that might be connected to the lightning card with the breakthrough. Is like you had a breakthrough about something and it puts you on the more aligned path, but it gives you realizations that maybe challenge your life in some way, or make it difficult, or realize that you have to let go of something, or like there's some grief kind of attached to it in a way. But I see it as like a really positive thing about moving forward in life, and moving forward in life in a more aligned direction. So I love it. Focus, Midas Miser, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold, delight in sharing life's riches. Okay, so this might mean that you're a little bit more generous when we have the Midas Miser in the light. So maybe focus on generosity, maybe giving away. It doesn't have to be money, but like maybe time, maybe energy. But it could also be that you have a skill that you can monetize this month. So it's saying focus on that. So if you're looking for any extra money, I know we didn't get to money, finances, and career, but this actually bodes well for foreshadowing what might come there, is that we have an opportunity to maybe do like a side gig, or turn one of our hobbies or skills into monetary value, or again, could come in the way of resources of like energy or time. But like I said, it could also be like over generosity, we're feeling generous. So yeah, that's the priority this month. So yeah, if you're looking to make like extra money or something like that, this definitely bodes well for that. Reflect, Desert Thirst. Did we have this in Reflect? I can't remember. I think we might have had one in the last reading, or maybe the reading before that. Okay, so thirst is like we need something. We're thirsty for something. We need to get more. We have that hunger, the thirst. It's just like we need to quench it. Like we need to scratch that itch. So basically, it's asking us to reflect on what we need to scratch the itch on. Like maybe we've been waiting a really long time for something, and now it's time to do so. Now, this is under Reflect, so it might not actually be us. Maybe you haven't had fun in a while, right? And that's a thirst that you have to quench. It's not necessarily saying, all right, go out and have fun this month, because it's under Reflect. It's not under Action Needed, it's under Reflect. So basically, it's saying like maybe reflect on. Maybe you haven't had fun for a while because you don't know what's fun for you anymore. Maybe you've changed and you don't exactly know how to have fun. Maybe you just recently quit alcohol, or maybe you have recently decentered dating and you just don't know what's fun for you anymore. Or maybe you've grown, maybe something has happened to you where you've just maybe you just matured, and something is that maybe used to be fun is not fun anymore. So I would definitely reflect on, not necessarily, I'm using fun as an example. This could be anything. This could be like what the thing that you're thirsty or hungry for. Okay, that's the thing. Now reflect on that thing. Reflect on maybe why you haven't quenched your thirst in a really long time regarding that thing. Does that make sense? Hopefully I'm making sense there. I gave fun as an example, but really it could be, anything. Maybe you're like hungry for a new life. Maybe you're thirsty for a new life, and you haven't had, and you haven't made any changes to get there. Why? That's what the Reflect is asking you. It's like asking you to reflect on the why you don't, why you haven't scratched your itch in a while. Why haven't you quenched your thirst in a while? That kind of thing. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know down below if it doesn't. Responsibilities. yin. Okay, so this is stillness energy. So it's your responsibility to be still, not rush, be present, take a deep breath, don't rush so much, use your intuition. What else? Feel your feelings. It's not, although I feel like this month is maybe, it's not like slow. This is just asking you to be present. Present doesn't mean slow. It just means being more intentional. That's definitely on the yin side of things. So I like that. So those are your responsibilities. Be present. Okay, money, finances, and career, upside down orphan child, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Okay. All right, so feeling abandoned, not the greatest one for money, finances, and career, but like I said, if there is, well, maybe that makes sense. If it's not going so well, money, finances, and career, we pick up like a side hustle or try to monetize on our skills and talents. So this is basically saying that we feel abandoned in some way. And then we latch onto like the wrong things. So money, finances, and career could definitely be feeling like we're left alone. We feel like we're abandoned. We feel like maybe even working with a career coach and it's like not working. You feel like she's not listening to you. You don't feel seen. You don't feel heard. Maybe at work you feel like you're being passed up for promotions. You're feeling like your hard work is going unseen. You're feeling like you were pulling your weight on the team, if you work on a team, and you're not, and nobody else is picking up the slack, and you have to pick it up, and you feel like you're working really hard, and you just feel like there's this feeling of abandonment, again, not feeling seen, not feeling heard, in money, finances, and career. Not the greatest feeling for money, finances, and career. Not the greatest energy, but like I said, I'm really choosing to focus on the focus section here of Midas Miser. Of we can, maybe it can also, not only just bringing money, time, and resources towards us and energy to us. It could also act as like a distraction for what's going on at work. Maybe the work is not fulfilling. You do feel abandoned. You do feel overworked. You do feel overlooked. And so doing something maybe you're a little bit more passionate about or that comes easy to you on the side will make you feel a little bit better. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Tobacco, reciprocity. Okay, so what we give, we get back. Reciprocal energy. I like this for surprise. Okay, so basically it's saying if there's something that you've given and you're not expecting something to come back, it's definitely going to come back to you. So if you helped out a friend about a year ago with something and you never, you help them out because they're your friend and you weren't expecting anything in return, this could be the month that they, pay you back, so to speak, right? They do something for you. It's like that kind of thing. And it comes like out of surprise because you're not expecting it. It wasn't scheduled or, whatever. So I like that. So if you've given something, and maybe thought, didn't think about it for like a long time because this is under surprise, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Maybe you donated to a charity like years ago, and the charity wants to name something after you because you donated, they're very appreciative of your donation or something like that. Like it's a surprise reciprocity, reciprocal energy that you were not expecting that comes back to you. So I love that. So it's like, honestly, it's kind of like positive karma almost. So it's a surprise. So that's a good one for June. I like that. Where are we at? Okay, we're at friends. Okay. Mending. Okay, so this is good. So this means that a friendship is mending, or maybe if you've been in an awkward space with one of your friends, you guys come back together. It doesn't have to be like a huge fight or something like that. It could just be like you've been disagreeing with a friend or butting heads with a friend, or it could be a family member too. You're mending things. So it's a good month for that. I find that very interesting when we have the poet up there. So just keep that in mind about maybe not speaking not being able to express ourselves in the best way. Do the best that you can. Obviously, it works in some way because the relationship is mending, but, just keep that in mind that we're not the best communicators, the best self-expressors this month, but just keep that in mind when it comes to mending. Obviously, they can be connected. Romantic connection, we have vampire, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Oh, no. Well, actually, yeah, it's in the light, so this might be okay. Okay. I was going to say, both money and finances and romantic connection this month. It's supposed to be a happy month. It's supposed to be a joyous month. But no, it's not too bad here. So, okay, so it makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. All right, so basically it's saying, like, you are aware of somebody that's draining you. And we're under romantic connection, so it's going to be your romantic connection. So, you are aware of the things that are draining you. So, I guess you can look at that as like a positive and a negative way. It's like more neutral, where it's like maybe you become more aware that your partner is complaining all the time. Or maybe you become aware that your partner has some narcissistic traits. Or maybe you become aware that your partner is extremely codependent and they won't, it's basically saying like you're becoming aware of these things. Not necessarily that it's not in the shadow, so the shadow would be like you're very depleted by it. This is more like you're aware of it and you're putting the correct boundaries up around it. Okay, so maybe your romantic connection will annoy you a little bit this month, like because you start noticing these things, or you start, having aha moments we have up here. Okay, I just talked about aha moments up in the challenge slot up there, so it could be related there, but nothing that I feel like we would break up over, or, that feels detrimental, or like, relationship ending. Just, you're aware and you're putting up your boundaries. That's all. What's important? Renewal. Yes, renewal is important. Okay, so basically it's saying to feel renewed, to feel like a new person, to feel like you have a new life. So it's important to feel like you are reborn, renewed, refreshed, like that kind of thing. So maybe you might want to buy yourself, give yourself permission to buy yourself a new wardrobe, or maybe get a haircut, or you feel like a brand new person, so the outer has to match the inner. That could be it. But also to like, you might feel like that new person, right? So yeah, just embrace the new is the best thing I can say with this. Health and wellness, poised. Okay, so it's saying I'm ready, right? Like SpongeBob says. Okay, so basically it's saying that you are ready to go. You're just kind of waiting on maybe other people, or so it's under health and wellness. So maybe you're just like waiting for the green light, or like maybe you've trained all that you can train for this 5K, and that's next month, and you're like ready to do it, but it doesn't come till next month, or something like that. Yeah, poised means like I'm ready to go. I feel like I've done everything that I could do, and I'm ready to do this. Yeah, maybe you could be like a mental health journey. You've been talking to a therapist for a long time, and now you feel like you're ready to date again. You're ready to get back out there. But maybe you are still living with your ex, or maybe you are still, you might be emotionally ready, mentally ready, spiritually ready, but like maybe the physical doesn't line up, right? So it feels like there might be like something there where, you're not quite ready to do it, which is interesting because we do have new life here. But basically it's kind of saying in the health and wellness sphere, damn it, that goes for me. I'm in that category. Then maybe you might not be quite ready, but you're right there. And maybe next month things will start to, we're right on the edge. Maybe next month you'll start seeing the health and wellness stuff go with it. So yeah, I like it. I think it's positive, but it's saying like you're right there, but not quite there yet. But it's awesome that you've done all the work to get where you are currently. Overall outcome, beggar confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival. awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. Okay, empowerment at the level of physical survival. Okay, overall outcome. Okay, so this is basically saying like we might still be relying on something, a system, a community, and it's not, it's in the light. So it's saying it's like not a bad thing. Like we have to understand that we still need support, and it's okay to ask for support still. And I will say it feels like Spirit is saying like we're not quite at the place of independence that maybe we want to be, but or freedom or liberation, I should say. But we still have things that we count on for our survival, and that's okay. Right? So like maybe you're on like a medication or something and you've gone on all the other medications, but you still need like a couple. Spirit is saying like just because you still need to be attached to something doesn't mean that that it's bad or you should beat yourself up or something like that. Like yes, we might be taking action on things in our new life, but some things maybe we have to still attach to from our old life, and that's okay. And I think that is really, it complements the poise card because it's saying like we're ready, but maybe not everything in our environment has materialized yet. Like I feel like it's very little, guys, and I feel like it definitely has something to do with health and wellness for sure. I would say like everything else, in all other categories, I would say it definitely feels a little bit more tangible, a little bit more materialized. But it's okay if we are still needing to lean on, again, a system, a person. We don't have complete liberation quite yet. So maybe you're on unemployment, you still have to be, everything else is changing, but you might still need that unemployment check or whatever, and you're still relying on that. Nothing wrong with that. You paid into that, but there's still something that you might need still. And this is basically saying it's okay to need it still, okay? Even if it doesn't feel like you're completely on your own or in your new life or whatever, completely independent, it's okay. It's still okay to hold on to those things. And I think that's it, guys. I think it's a really positive month. The things that I'm just concerned about is I don't love the money, finances, and career. I haven't loved the card that's been there in the last few readings. We're feeling alone at work. We're feeling abandoned. We're feeling not supported. So that's not great. But like I said, I think the Midas Miser definitely makes up for that. And I love how we started out the reading where, guys, something's happening. It just might be a complete happening. And I think that's what it's saying here towards the end of the reading. So, yeah, I love it, guys. I love it. All right, guys, have a wonderful month and see you in the next one. Bye.